following a thrilling Super Bowl in Atlanta, the dark hours of January 31st, 2000 are to this day surrounded in mystery.
The epic football career of Ray Lewis almost ended 13 years ago.
If there's something in your life that you know need changing, make sure you change it before God changes.
A fight breaks out, and when the dust settles, Jason Baker and Richard Lawler are left in the street.
Because if he changes, you might not like it.
13-time Pro Bowler, two-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, linebacker, number 52, Ray Lewis.
Hot and so hot and so hot and
Two men dead, blood in a limousine, a missing white suit. Ray Lewis went from murder suspect to Super Bowl MVP in just 1 year. How did one of the most controversial figures in sports history escape a life sentence and become a Hall of Famer? The truth will shock you. Before we dive into one of the most shocking stories in NFL history, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We're uncovering the biggest scandals in sports, and this one will leave you speechless. Today, we're investigating exactly how Ray Lewis transformed from accused murderer to football legend. This is the story they don't want you to know. January 31st, 2000, Super Bowl week in Atlanta. Ray Lewis, the Baltimore Ravens' fierce linebacker, was at the peak of his career. At 24, he was already considered one of the most dominant defensive players in the NFL. But one night would change everything. Lewis and his entourage were partying at the Cobalt Lounge in Atlanta's upscale Buckhead district. What should have been a celebration turned into a nightmare. A fight broke out in the street after the club closed. When the chaos ended, two men lay dead. Jacinth Baker, 21, and Richard Lawler, 24. Within hours, Ray Lewis became the prime suspect in a double murder case that would captivate the nation. The evidence seemed damning. Lewis had fled the scene. His distinctive white suit from that night had mysteriously vanished. Blood was found in his limousine. On June 5, 2000, Ray Lewis was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. The NFL's most intimidating defender was facing life in prison. His career was over, or so it seemed. The prosecution's case looked rock solid. They painted Lewis as a man whose street credibility and ego had led him down a dark path. The missing white suit was crucial evidence. Why would an innocent man dispose of his clothing? Prosecutors argued that Lewis had been involved in the fight that led to the deaths. His story kept changing during police interviews. He claimed he was a peacemaker, but witnesses suggested otherwise. The blood in his limo seemed to tell a different story. The case divided public opinion. Sports fans couldn't believe their hero was capable of murder. Critics argued that Lewis was using his fame and wealth to escape justice. The media circus was unprecedented for an NFL player. Lewis hired a dream team of lawyers, including Don Samuel, one of Atlanta's most prominent criminal defense attorneys. They argued that Lewis was guilty of nothing more than being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But the evidence was mounting. Then came the twist that nobody saw coming. In a stunning turn of events, Lewis agreed to plead guilty to obstruction of justice, a misdemeanor, in exchange for testifying against his 2 co-defendants, Reginald Oakley and Joseph Sweeting. The murder charges were dropped. Lewis would serve 1 year of probation and pay a $250,000 fine. The families of the victims were outraged. How could a man who was facing life in prison walk away with essentially a slap on the wrist? The deal was explosive. Critics accused Lewis of buying his way out of justice. They claimed he had used his wealth and celebrity status to escape accountability. Supporters argued he was simply telling the truth about what really happened that night. His co-defendants were ultimately acquitted. The case against Lewis had crumbled, but the damage to his reputation seemed irreparable. Or was it? Returning to the NFL wasn't easy. Lewis faced intense scrutiny from fans, media, and fellow players. Every game was played under a microscope. Every tackle was analyzed for signs of the violence that had landed him in court. But Lewis channeled his pain into performance. The 2000 season became his statement year. He led the Ravens' defense with an intensity that bordered on supernatural. His pre-game speeches became legendary. His tackles became more punishing than ever. The numbers were staggering. The Ravens allowed just 165 points that season, a record that still stands today. Lewis recorded 138 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 interceptions. He was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year, but it wasn't just about statistics. Lewis became the emotional leader of a team that seemed destined for greatness. His teammates rallied around him, creating one of the most dominant defenses in NFL history. Super Bowl 35 against the New York Giants was Lewis's moment of truth. The same week that had nearly destroyed his life 1 year earlier became his greatest triumph. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Lewis dominated the game, recording 5 tackles and 4 passes defensed. The Ravens crushed the Giants 34-7, and Lewis was named Super Bowl MVP, the first linebacker to win the award since 1993. As confetti fell around him, Lewis dropped to his knees and wept. The man who had been branded a murderer was now a champion. The transformation was complete, but the controversy would never fully disappear. In his victory speech, Lewis thanked God and his teammates. He never directly addressed the Atlanta incident, but his message was clear. This was about redemption, second chances, and the power of perseverance. Lewis played 17 seasons in the NFL, all with the Ravens. He was selected to 13 Pro Bowls, won 2 Super Bowls, and was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year twice. In 2018, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on his first ballot. But his true legacy remains complicated. To his supporters, Lewis proved that people can change and that redemption is possible. To his critics, he's a man who escaped justice through wealth and fame. The families of Jacinth Baker and Richard Lawler never got the justice they sought. The case remains officially unsolved. Lewis has never been held accountable for the events of that night, despite the plea deal. Ray Lewis's story is one of the most complex and controversial in sports history. Did he escape justice, or was he truly innocent? The truth may never be known, but what's undeniable is that Lewis used his second chance to become something more than just a football player. Whether you love him or hate him, Ray Lewis proved that even in our darkest moments, we have the power to rewrite our story. From murder trial to Hall of Fame, it's a journey that will be debated for generations. If you want to see more shocking sports stories like this, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Ray Lewis got away with murder, or was justice served? Check out our other NFL scandal videos, and I'll see you next time.